This is a secured industrial video. Excuse me.
Do you work here?
Yeah, I do maintenance, but I've worked all over.
But,
Oh, the rest of me?
Uh-huh.
Well, I've had my share of accidents along the way. Lost my legs while doing repairs on a hydraulic press. Had an unexpected release of pressurized nitrogen. Uh-oh, that's gonna leave marks. When it blew, it sent a 3,000-pound valve system 200 yards. I actually fared better than the guys I was working with. Lost my right arm when a conveyor belt went off track. You see, I shut it off, and then I went up on the catwalk clearing debris so I could reach the belt. Well, as I was reaching in, the machine suddenly got restarted and pulled my arm into the nip point. Joe's the one who turned it on, but, it's not his fault. He didn't know I was working on the thing at the time. My other arm, glove got caught in an unguarded rotating auger. Took it right off. The rest I lost when I fell into the blades of a large ribbon blender. The cleaning hose brushed up against the on-off switch. Like the hair, electrocution. Equipment wasn't properly grounded. Yeah, I've had a few incidents over the years, but hey, who's counting? Besides, I get twice as much work now. I'm the only one who can clean the insides of a lot of the machinery. Well, enough war stories. I gotta get back to work. Sure, with some cheap effects and a little comical dialogue, hopefully it can be entertaining or even funny. But it's not real. In the real world, unexpected equipment startups account for about 100 injuries a day, some fatal. Amputation, electrocution, and there's absolutely nothing entertaining or funny about it. The dangers out there are real, very real.
Real Life with your host, Tim Wright.
"100 injuries a day. 100. 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That's an incredible number. This is why OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, wrote the Lockout Tagout regulation. Taking time to implement lockout tagout procedures can save you and your coworkers from serious injury or even death.
Lockout.
Honey? Honey! Sweetie?
Tagout.
I'm not talking house keys and stolen bases here.
But what exactly is Lockout Tagout? Lockout Tagout is a system used to ensure that equipment you've isolated and de-energized to work on remains that way. Shut down. You know, zero energy. Zip, zilch, nada, kaput, zero. In a lockout, a padlock is placed on all primary and secondary energy sources, such as a disconnect switch, circuit breaker, valve handle, or any other energy supply that is in the off or closed position. In a tagout, a written warning tag is used. However, because tagout alone is not as safe as a lockout, it has become standard practice to use tags in conjunction with a lockout as a source of additional information. Whether you're performing routine maintenance such as replacing worn-out parts or making routine repairs like trying to unstick a frozen conveyor belt or just inspecting a piece of machinery to find out the source of the malfunction, whatever the reason, there may come a time when you will be working on or around a piece of machinery and will need to use Lockout Tagout. Lockout Tagout safety. It all begins with what I call the 3 A's. It's just like in real life. Being aware of the dangers around you and having the right attitude about your personal safety leads you to take the necessary action to protect yourself. In Lockout Tagout, it's the same thing. What are the dangers around you? Spotting dangers before it's too late is of paramount importance. Year after year, lockout tagout injuries have been traced to one or more of the following: failure to properly isolate equipment, failure to disconnect from the power source, failure to prevent stored energy from being released, accidental restarting of equipment, failure to clear the work area before reactivation. Is this thing on? Whoa. Our next award, look out. Need to get that fixed. Our next award is for the company's safest worker. And the nominees are...
I ain't got nothing to worry about. Shut the power off. Besides, it's just jammed. It'll only take a second to fix. I ain't got time for all this lockout, tagout, mumbo jumbo. We got a show to do.
And the winner is our very own electrician, Tim Wright. I'm afraid tonight's recipient won't be able to join us. I humbly accept on his behalf. Where awareness can save your life, your attitude can lose it. Safety is attitude.
Safety is attitude.
And you have to have the right attitude
Right attitude.
if you're going to stay safe.
Stay safe.
There's nothing like repetition. Safety, attitude, two great ideas that go together.
Get a safety-tude today.
No matter how small the job or how little time it might take, lockout tagout is never an area you want to take for granted. Lockout tagout are always in vogue. The most important of the 3 A's, action. Now that you know the dangers you're facing and you have the right attitude, what actions will you take to ensure your safety?
When? Where? Why?
For 1.5 million, when is lockout tagout used? A, when your safety manager is looking. B, on any given Monday. C, the Heimlich maneuver. D, anytime you service or perform maintenance.
That would be when your safety manager's looking. A.
Final answer? When is lockout tagout used? Anytime you service or perform maintenance, including construction, installing, setting up, adjusting, inspecting, repairing, or modifying any machinery or equipment. Excuse me, sir, where is lockout tagout used?
Oh, you know, that's where two guys on TV wrestling. Buford stopped that. And one guy jumped in and...
Where is lockout tagout used? Locks and tags are applied to all primary and secondary energy sources. Because energy used to power equipment comes in so many different forms, including electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic, mechanical, kinetic, chemical, or thermal, your employer's energy control program will spell out the types of hazardous energy specific to your job site. Why is lockout tagout used? You know the answer. 100 injuries a day.
Lock it, tag it.
Your employer is responsible for providing locks and tags. You are responsible for using them and using them properly. Locks and tags are designed specifically for your job and should never be used for locking personal items or anything else. IDs on locks and tags let others know who's responsible for the lockout. For this reason, you never want to trade locks or tags with another worker. I'll trade you these 3 tags for that pretty little blue lock you got there. But attaching locks and tags to the energy source is only a part of the lockout tagout procedure. Take the following steps when implementing a lockout.
Step 1. Prepare for shutdown.
What kind of energy is being used?
Know it.
Is it electrical or hydraulic? Pneumatic or kinetic? Mechanical? Chemical? Thermal?
Find it.
Where are the primary and secondary energy sources that need to be isolated and locked out? Also, be sure to inform other workers you're shutting down.
Step 2. Shut down equipment. Do it.
Shut down the equipment using normal stopping procedures as outlined by your operation procedure.
Step 3. Isolate equipment. Get involved.
Isolate the equipment from every power source. It involves more than just shutting off the power. Close valves, throw main disconnects and circuit breakers, and block or blank any auxiliary power such as hydraulic or pneumatic systems.
Step 4. Apply lockout tagout devices. Lock it and tag it.
Apply locks and tags to all primary and secondary energy sources. Everyone applies his or her own lock.
Step 5. Control stored energy. Watch it.
Control stored energy. Even with the power off, equipment can still have residual energy.
Check it.
Check to make sure all moving parts have stopped turning.
Relieve it.
Vent or drain trapped pressure.
Install it.
Install ground wires to avoid electrocution.
Support it.
Block or support elevated equipment.
Step 6. Verify isolation. Teamwork.
Warn the other employees and make sure the lockout area is clear, and double check your steps. This is the tryout phase. Having a pre-job briefing before the lockout operation begins always helps. Retrace your steps to ensure the equipment has been properly locked out and all energy sources have been contained or released.
Communicate.
Confirm with everyone involved that all locks and tags are in their appropriate place. Communication is essential. Finally, once work is complete and you're ready to reactivate the machinery, notify all affected employees that locks and tags will be removed. Again, make sure everyone is clear. Each worker will remove his or her own lock. It is illegal to remove someone else's lock.
Sir, is that your lock?
This one? No.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tags should be signed and turned in, and any other procedures outlined by your employer should be carried out before restarting equipment.
Awareness, attitude, action.
Be aware of the energy hazards you encounter. Keep the safety first attitude. Remember, the only shortcut in lockout tagout is to the hospital. And most importantly, take action. By following all the procedures in a lockout tagout, you're taking action that can save lives, yours and your coworkers. You've just seen how lockout tagout is used to prevent serious and sometimes fatal accidents involving unexpected equipment startups. Now let's put what you know to the test. In this section, we'll be putting several workers into various lockout tagout situations. With your help, hopefully they'll make it through injury-free. Just remember the 3 A's: awareness, attitude, and action. Nick is having some problems with the twisted load. He's doing the right thing by applying a lock and tag to the power source. But has Nick forgotten anything? Nick did a couple of things wrong here. First, he forgot to check for secondary power sources and to release the trapped energy that may be in them. Remember, some machines run in cycles, and even with the power off, they still have enough residual energy to complete a cycle. What else did Nick forget? Right. Nick should have taken steps to block any potential energy in case of a sudden release of pressure. And finally, Nick never informed the other workers that a lockout was being used, nor did he make sure everyone was clear. John has shut down the secondary power source for our electrician Bill and assures Bill that everything is shut down and safe to work on. What potentially fatal mistakes did Bill make as he prepared to work on the circuit box? Correct. To ensure no power is flowing to the circuit box, Bill should always check all primary and secondary power sources personally and not rely on the word of a coworker alone. Bill should also use a check meter to test for any hot wires before beginning any electrical work. It looks like Cindy has done a pretty good job of lockout tagout for her machine, but now it's time for her lunch break. Not good. Several things were done wrong here. Can you name them? Obviously, Nick is in serious violation when he removes a lock that does not belong to him. But even if, under rare and special circumstances, he had been authorized by his supervisor to remove the lock, he absolutely should have informed Cindy of what he was doing. But in what way is Cindy responsible for what happened? Right. Whenever you return to a lockout area, always make sure that locks and tags are still in place and that no one has tampered with the equipment. Communication is essential. Teamwork is key. But when it comes to your safety, ultimately, the responsibility is yours. Lockout tagout and the 3 A's to safety. You gotta follow them in real life, because in here, you get second chances. But out there, you only get one. So be aware of the potential hazards around you. Keep that safety first attitude. When it comes to protecting yourself, take action.
I'm Tim Wright. Keep it real.
Come here, mister.